Okay, if you're voting in Florida, you know that once again on the ballot, we are voting for recreational marijuana to be approved. Amendment 3. Kim Rivers, key advocate for Amendment 3, is with us today. Kim, Amendment 3 is on the ballot this year, once again, legalizing recreational marijuana for those that are 21 and older. The amendment's got to receive 60% of voter approval this time. Do you think that Florida voters will approve this time?
Absolutely. I think that Florida voters are ready, and folks are excited about having the opportunity to finally vote for legalization. Listen, there's been three different times where over millions of Floridians have petitioned to get this on the ballot. So now is our opportunity to finally change history here in Florida and vote yes on Amendment 3.
Now, this initiative could bring, I'm being told, like $200 million annually when it comes to tax revenue, right? And we've seen other states like Colorado that have benefited in by legalizing recreational marijuana as well. Is that number correct?
Yeah, actually, according to the Tax Revenue Estimating Conference, independent third body, it can be up to $400 million of tax revenue annually that can be brought into the state of Florida and reinvested into our communities. And listen, we've got a lot of things that we need to do here in Florida, right? Lots of folks have moved into Florida over the last little while. We've got insurance issues, right? Police, schools. So that $400 million we think can do a lot of good on an annual basis.
Now, Kim, this will be a constitutional change, and I'm seeing a lot of commercials on radio, hearing a lot of commercials on radio, seeing them on TV and on social media where a lot of people are saying, well, then that's going to change everything and people are going to be able to smoke marijuana everywhere and anywhere. Is that true or is that an exaggeration?
Yeah, that's completely false, actually. Listen, in Florida, we've done a great job of regulating cigarette smoke. We regulate public consumption of alcohol, and there are 800,000 Floridians that utilize medical marijuana today, right? And we've done a great job of regulating that as well. And so, absolutely false. We are going to be able to regulate marijuana. And this is about adults over the age of 21 having the freedom to consume a product that's safer than alcohol in the privacy of their own home. Again, making sure that product is safe and regulated, because what we know is that millions of Floridians are using marijuana today. Marijuana is not new. It's not going anywhere, but we need to make sure that folks have access to safe, clean product, again, from a store, not on the street, and that we can generate that tax revenue and get it reinvested into our communities.
If Amendment 3 is approved in Florida this time around, how do we address or how does Amendment 3 address the federal restrictions on marijuana?
Yeah, so Amendment 3 is going to be for the state of Florida, right? But it is one additional state in a series of states that have legalized. So what we're seeing is the tide changing at the federal level, right? And currently there's rescheduling that's happening, moving marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 that's going to allow for more research. I mean, the long and the short of it is Amendment 3 is a state constitutional issue, so it's not going to on its face change federal law. But what it will do is it will be another step forward. I mean, we're at a point in history right now where we have, in the national level, we have both presidential candidates. I mean, President Trump has come out and specifically endorsed Amendment 3 and has said that he's going to vote on it and that Florida is going to do it the right way. Vice President and presidential candidate Harris has said that she believes that marijuana reform is an important issue for our country. And so, again, it allows us as Floridians to come along with the times to make sure that, again, we give our citizens the ability to use marijuana responsibly as adults, to get it off of the street, to actually reduce the crime associated with those transactions on the street, and to tax and regulate it.
So medical marijuana is currently legal in Florida, of course. How would Amendment 3 affect the current medical marijuana system in the state? And what benefits would recreational legalization bring to patients and non-patients alike?
Yeah, so medical marijuana has been a very robust part of our Florida economy here for the last 8 years. As I mentioned, there are over 800,000 current patients that rely on medical marijuana products in our stores. And again, there's 25 other companies who sell medical marijuana in the state of Florida today. And so those patients will continue to be prioritized. We operate in a number of states who have also passed legalization measures, states like Arizona, for example. And so what we've done is we continue continue to prioritize the needs of those patients to make sure, because listen, this is medication. There are a lot of folks who rely on products every single day, and it's really important that they're able to continue to access those products. However, right, folks are going to be able to make the choice. And for medical patients, right, it's important because those products are not taxed and they will not be taxed. So if you need the product for a medical reason, we're going to preserve and make sure you can still get it. It won't be taxed and it continues to be available. However, if you don't qualify for the medical program or aren't going to use marijuana on a regular basis for a condition, on the adult use side, right, you won't have to get a card. You won't have to spend the money to get a medical card, and you'll be able to, again, access it through a store. What we find, though, in other markets is a lot of adults, even on the recreational side, use marijuana for certain conditions like sleep, anxiety. Veterans use it for to help them, right, wean off of some of the medications that they're given when they return home. So even though it is recreational, we do find that lots of adults choose to consume marijuana, again, both for fun, right, and again as an alternative to alcohol, but also as a regular part of their regime, and as an alternative and a less dangerous alternative to some of the other, opioids and whatnot that is available for certain other conditions.
You mentioned our veterans, and Veterans Day is right around the corner, so shout out to all of our vets. Thank you for your service. You mentioned safety
Absolutely.
too, and I've noticed numerous sheriffs from various different counties around the state that have jumped into the game here to vote yes on 3 for recreational marijuana in the state. What strategies are in place that you could share with us to address concerns from groups that are worried about regulatory challenges and potential public safety issues related to recreational marijuana legalization in Florida?
Yeah, so we are very thankful that we have sheriffs from around the state that are behind us and are supporting our Yes on 3 campaign. And here's why. It's 2 top reasons when I talk to sheriffs. One, they're tired of spending time and resources arresting people for possession. It's ridiculous and it needs to stop. And Amendment 3 would stop arresting adults for small amounts of marijuana so that law enforcement is freed up so that they can focus on more serious crimes that are impacting our communities. Second, they see in their communities the dangers of the illicit market. Sheriff Morris Young in Gadsden County, the reason that he is supportive of Amendment 3 is because sadly, in Gadsden County, a number of months ago, over a single weekend, 9 individuals passed away from a contaminated batch of marijuana. So here you are, you think you're just doing, a little marijuana on a read on a Friday night, and then the next thing you know, you're in the hospital, or you're worse, you're dead. And what we're seeing is more often, right, that not just marijuana, but other products are being laced with dangerous substances on our streets. So we have an opportunity, again, marijuana is here. We have an opportunity to make sure that it's safe, that it's lab tested, that every single batch is tracked and traced, so that when the millions of adults who choose to use marijuana in the state of Florida access it, they're accessing it through a store. They know exactly what they're getting. They know exactly what's in it, and they can be ensured that that product is not going to hurt them. The other thing with law enforcement is that, interestingly, and this study came out 2 days ago from FAU, it's a longitudinal study, that teen usage in communities that have passed legalizations, in states that have legalized, declines dramatically. So why? Because now those drug deals are not happening on our street, right? The accessibility declines, and it's only accessible through a store to those who are over the age of 21 and who show a valid ID. And so it's proven that legalization actually is a tool to help actually protect our youth. And again, teen usage declines in states that legalize.
Recreational marijuana is up for a vote in this election for the 3rd time in the state of Florida. If you're early voting, you see it there. Amendment 3 on the 2024 ballot seeks to legalize recreational marijuana for adults 21 and older. If passed, this amendment would allow adults to possess, purchase, and use marijuana products legally. Kim Rivers, key advocate for Amendment 3, leads this effort with Smart and Safe Florida PAC, which is advocating for the support and passage for legalized recreational marijuana in the state of Florida. Kim, thank you for your time.